Welcome to the Book of Mormon Evidence podcast with host Rod Meldrum. This week we enjoy a very special Come Follow Me supplemental study with this bonus episode. Rod Meldrum literally helps put on Alex Boye's armor.
Push it. I think my head's too big. That's what my wife always says.
As they discuss ancient Book of Mormon prophets who lived in America.
Woo! I look like James Brown in the 1800s. Can I get a warrior? Ow!
And Alex breaks huge news as he announces his latest Joseph Smith-inspired project called American Prophet, an urban musical. And he even gives us a sneak peek at perhaps bigger plans he has for the future.
Welcome to another edition of our podcast. We're excited, very excited today to have our very special friend Alex Boye with us.
I can't remember what I was talking about now. What's that talking about? Oh, yeah, that's right, the Warrior song. So I'd always wanted to write a pop song about the stripling warriors. So that's what it's about. Not many people know that that's what it's about because you got this heavy beat and just rock music and stuff like that and heavy guitars and a lot of huge harmonies and stuff like that. But it's really about the stripping warriors. So, yeah. And then I added like a Black Panther theme to it because I like the movie Black Panther. And so, yeah, it's been fun.
Okay, Alex, we're going to...
Whoa.
We're going to give you the honorary Warrior of the Book of Mormon Award.
No way.
Captain Moroni Award. Okay, so
Dude.
this is going to be...
Can we put it over this? Or
dress you up. Oh, yeah.
Put
Put right here. Put right there.
Dude.
Okay, you're going to drop that. Don't let it hit your face, though. Okay, there we go.
Dude, look at this, man. Yeah, baby. We're going to war,
there
man.
There we go.
Look at that. Got my
this
breastplate.
And you're gonna, but you need something else though. You can't have just a breastplate.
Okay,
right?
that's right.
So what else you gonna need?
So I need the helmet, man.
You got to have a helmet. That's right.
What's that? Is that the helmet of salvation? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay, so
we'll get my salvation on, Rod. Come on.
We're gonna put this little.
Let's get it on.
It's kind of like a do-rag, but anyway.
I look like James Brown in the 1800s. Can I get a warrior?
All right.
Ow!
Wait.
Let me tell you, people. Ah! I feel so good. I got to kiss myself when I got the sword in my hand. I got to take on those Amalekites and all kind of ites.
All right, let's take a look.
Right.
See if you can get this thing on your hand.
Okay. Oh my gosh, man.
Okay. Oh, did I push it down harder?
Push it. I think my head's too big. That's what my wife always says. All right. Oh, man. That's awesome. Look at that, man.
He's on it, man. Check it out.
Woo! Dang.
This
is amazing.
I need to. Here, tell me. We're gonna crank this up just one more time. Okay, hang on, everybody. Just give me 1 second here. We're gonna give it just a little bit.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Well, whoever it was humble because they had a small head.
Yeah. So yeah. What are you saying?
Someone with humility.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna put on the helmet there.
That's better, Rod. Yes, man.
This thing is kind of messed up. That's messing up.
Man, how did they even wear these things, man?
I don't know, but it's
incredible. Well, I guess when you see the sword, you're like, put it on.
Okay.
No matter how uncomfortable it is.
Here now, and
but
you're still not quite completely ready to go to battle yet.
Okay, what we missing, man? Oh, I got a couple ideas.
What?
I need a weapon, man.
You need a good weapon. You need a serious weapon. So here we go.
Oh, snap. Look at this, man.
A serious weapon there.
What? Hey, look, man. Look at this, like all these engravings in it. What's this?
It's in Hebrew, so you have to read it from right to left.
It wouldn't make a difference to me.
And I can't read Hebrew either, but what it supposedly says is that this sword will never be again sheathed again until the children of Israel do offer again a sacrifice in righteousness or something to that effect. There's a scripture that goes along with that. This is Laban's sword, which Captain Moroni was wielding in defense of his people and this covenant with God that he did on this land. It was established by Adam and Eve. Then at Noah's time, this land got cleansed because the people forgot about the covenant. Then the covenant was renewed with the Jaredites They forgot about the covenant and they killed each other. Then you have the Nephites. They forgot about the covenant and their brethren, the Lamanites, basically wiped them out.
Yeah.
And now we have George Washington in our day reinvokes the covenant again.
Man.
And then but what we need though is we need warriors.
Man.
We need men and women who will stand up and support the cause of freedom.
Yeah.
The cause of our families and our children and our wives.
Amen, brother.
And to stand for the things that are right and true, and let the
preach it, brother. Preach it. Preach it, my brother.
That's right.
So
you look pretty good as Captain Moroni.
Thank you, man.
Have you been cast as a Captain Moroni yet in any films
I don't know,
or
man.
videos?
No, I mean I don't know.
I'm kind of feeling a video.
I'm Captain Moroni with a 10, I guess. Captain Moroni, you get it?
Captain Moroni. That's
Captain Moroni over here, man. Let me talk to you people here. I got a little something I got to tell y'all. Lamanites.
And you will hear, listen.
Yeah.
Okay, or you're going to be in trouble.
That's right. Man.
That's right. All right.
This is awesome.
So now you're all in the Moroni outfit here.
Yeah.
You've got some projects you told me they were coming up, and
oh man,
you got to spill the beans. Okay, let me spill the beans on one of them.
Okay,
and then you spill the beans on the other one.
All right. There's only one right now that's just the big one for me.
Okay, because for me though, there's one that's a pretty big one too, and that is that I'm a big Hill Cumorah guy.
Whoa.
I'm wearing my shirt right here. It says the firm foundation, only one Cumorah.
Oh, I think you're trying to tell people something. You trying to send a message out there.
There's not two Hill Cumorahs. There's only
there ain't no
one.
twins when it comes to this. Only one came out.
That's right. and so I'm gonna give you this because this is in honor for this coming July.
Yeah.
This last Hill Cumorah pageant season, you're going to be doing something kind of special out there. I understand that this has never happened before in the history of the Hill Cumorah pageant.
Yeah.
Now, about 2 years ago, I was asked to come and speak to the pageant cast members about why this is the real Hill Cumorah. What do we know about it? What did the prophets say about it? What about Oliver Cowdery? Is there two Hill Cumorahs? Where's the evidence for it? If all these people died, where's all their bones? Where's all their swords? Where's all their armor and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I gave a presentation about that, and we called it the Verifications and Realistic Archaeological Expectations, the Hill Cumorah.
Oh, man.
So I don't think you've seen this yet, so I'm going to get this as a personal copy to you. I'm giving you this right now.
Thank you. This will prepare me, man.
Prepare you for what? What are you going to be doing this year at the Hill Cumorah pageant?
So I've been invited to perform right before the pageant. So
the opening act.
The opening act, yep. So I'm very,
does it
very
get
excited.
any better than that? I mean, well, I guess
10,000 people every night. I mean, they're expecting.
So every night,
more.
every performance, you're going to be opening.
Yeah. So I'm excited, man.
This is going to be sweet. Okay.
This is great. I can't wait to watch this. I should watch it with my, with the helmet and the breastplate and everything.
Yeah, you can borrow
so
it for a
I can
while.
really get
make sure you have your Liberty Stone.
That's right. I'm the stone, man.
Okay.
Boy.
Okay, so now tell us about you mentioned that the other night you woke up early in the morning and you had some thoughts about some things that because I can tell you that probably one of the greatest concerns that I have, and also that I think that the brethren share, and all the leaders of the church is our youth.
Yeah.
And how do we help them to maintain their faith in a world that's desperately trying to rip their faith apart?
There's so many more distractions than ever, and on any time of the planet of this earth, there's never been more distractions than the warriors and the youth of today are receiving and are getting. Nothing even close, even from when I was a kid. And so I always been wondering, there's just certain things that happened and that I've read, and I've always felt that I want to do something, and I didn't know quite what it was, but I knew that I was waiting on maybe the Lord to help me to discover what that is. And it's happened in a way, and it never happens in a way you expect. It's very unexpected.
That's for sure.
But there's a scripture in Doctrine and Covenants 90, verse 11, and it says, "And they shall receive the gospel in their language and tongue. And now we know that language is like, French, Spanish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that stuff. But what is tongue? And I always kept thinking about that. And I started thinking more and more that tongue is culture. And so if it's culture, like, why is it that when you go to Japan or you go to the MTC, right, you're going to get taught the language and they'll have cultural lessons too? Because
so
you can
cultural fupas.
Exactly.
There,
yeah. But you can teach the gospel all you want, but if you don't teach it with an understanding of their culture, it will just lay on flat. It's like, for example, you can have the same presentation that, the gospel of Jesus Christ and the fullness, what we teach, right? That's the fullness. But you have to teach it differently. If you're going to go and teach a kid from Honduras, you have to teach it differently from how you're going to teach a kid from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. It's the same gospel, but you have to teach it differently because they won't. And what I'm realizing is what I'm thinking about more is that when you give it to them in their culture, the spirit is even stronger. The spirit will manifest itself even stronger than ever. So with this in mind,
they feel it more in their core.
Yes, because that's what
that's who they are.
Yeah, it's all about. We all want to be connected to someone. Everyone, even like Alcoholics Anonymous. What is that? It's a group of people that are alike. It's a group of people that can connect with each other. So their culture is talking about the language of drink. That's their culture. And if someone outside the culture talks to them about this, like, what do you know? Have you ever been stoned before so hard that you don't even know where your next meal's coming from? No, you don't. So don't talk to me. So I feel it's like the same way sometimes with the gospel. It's like we got to reach them in their culture. And so
how do you do that? What is the culture that you can reach most youth with?
It's taken me years to figure this out. I can tell you now what the biggest culture is on the planet. And that is hip hop. It's the hip hop and the rap culture. Mm-hmm. It is the biggest. You go to any football game, soccer game, basketball, even in the Utah Jazz right here. What are you going to hear? For 90 minutes. You're going to hear hip hop and you're going to hear rap. Your state president's listening to it when they're sitting there watching the game. Mm-hmm. Your Relief Society's listening to it, including the kids. They're all listening to it. You can't get away from it. You turn on the TV and you watch a freaking a car commercial. What are they playing in the background? Yeah. Yeah, the beats. So whether you realize it or not, it's already in our subconscious.
And just that methodology.
Yeah. So could there be something to that? And what hit me really hard is that I've been involved for the last. I haven't talked much about this to people, but for the last year I've been recruited and I've been part of the cast of Hamilton, in terms of learning lines and so because I've been asked to play George Washington and Aaron Burr. And I'd been very close over the last year where it's like within 2 weeks I was supposed to pack and go to Broadway, and then it didn't happen because somebody else had taken that spot last minute. And then the latest one is I was asked to go and do it at the West End, and that still stands right now. Mm-hmm. They're still waiting to give me the date. So I'm learning all this Hamilton stuff over and over and over again. So I'm ready
to wield the sword.
Right, when I get there, that I know the flipping lines, right? The songs, right? So this is what's crazy. And after watching it, and in my whole research of Hamilton and seeing all these kids who after Hamilton are taking history lessons so they can learn about the founding fathers in droves in ways that it never happened before Hamilton. And what has done that is because they're receiving it in their own tongue. I mean, you got these kids rapping up.
Memorize a few of these lines.
Yeah.
I mean, so
a
couple maybe of these lines.
So I mean, put
you on the spot right now.
No, but I mean, it's crazy because it's just like, I mean, there's tons of them. There's like, I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and you know what I mean. I'm not throwing away my shot. You know what I mean? Talking about America and everything, and like we got to go out and so it's like you got all these kids talking about the wars that's happening for the founding fathers and all the policies and all the things that were going on in that day in rap form. What? And it was the biggest. It was the biggest, the most popular album on the planet. At one time. So here's my feeling. Let's take it back to what is our tongue? What is our culture? We've got the Mormon culture, right? That's what you always hear, right? And now the hip hop culture has infiltrated the Mormon culture. And if you don't believe me, just go to any school in Utah, right?
Yeah.
For good or for bad, all right? So it's like we always have to look at it where we're at right now. And so my goal is that I've written a musical about the life of Joseph Smith and the Restoration in hip hop and rap form. Do you want me to play? Should we?
Would you? Yeah.
Do you want to hear the song?
Yeah.
How can we do this? It's on my phone. How can we do this? We might have to pause this. I really I didn't think about this. Do you mind? This is gonna be the first time.
If you have it on your phone.
Yeah, I want to play it that they can hear it. Okay.
Do you have a video about it or no?
No, it's just the song. And it's still rough. It's just the song. This is the first time, man. All right. Okay. So I just wanted you to hear it.
This is the world premiere.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. This is to all you listeners out there. So, guys, this is my first time I've ever really put this out, and this is the story. So I'm doing it'll probably be out by then, but a music video, a short film about the story of Joseph Smith restoration, and it's done all in rap and hip hop form. So the whole idea is 2 African American kids were being taught the gospel, and they lost contact with the missionaries, and they go back home to the hood, and basically, how are they going to teach the gospel? If someone says, "What did you do on your vacation?" And they're going to yo, man, I'm going to tell you what we heard, man. These 2 brothers, man, they were talking about the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. They're talking about Joe Smith. That's how they talk. Yeah. So that's how I want to share the message of the restoration.
Cool.
Right. So
let's hear this.
Okay.
This is going to be, this is the world premiere here.
Yes, sir. It literally is.
In the year of our God, in the land of plenty, heavens opened up in the spring of 1820. Yeah. 7 years later, 14-year-old cat dug up some love letters from the ground. Contained words stronger than penicillin, filled with words so profound. Can I get a mic check?
They say where there's no vision, the people perish. Or something happened in a land 17 million people cherish. Revelation from the land you were born, headed far west to educate the misinformed. We gon' set the truth straight, then get the truth straight. Time to activate, put on your breastplate. I hope you're all ready for this lyrical storm. You might think it's hot, but we just getting warm.
Let's go down in the water, deep in the water. Take up your sword and shield, raise them up high. Feeling like my bro now. Oh yeah, I'm knocking on heaven's door. I'm feeling so good, now I pray for more. Now I'm living on brass plates.
I'm living on brass plates of golden, feeling the words that we spoken. It was a boy, strange enchanted boy. He was the one. This is what the villagers say after he saw what he said. So
people thought he was crazy. How could a small town boy see something so amazing? So hated, persecuted.
I am an American slave with a testimony. No one can take that away from me. When I believe what Joe saw, tried killing me. I'm flossing, only God can deliver me. So many miles I was running on empty. No gas, but my testimony fueling me. I've been swimming upstream from apostasy. There's a cost, freedom don't come for free. 12 years as a slave, dogs chasing me. Dark skin ain't a curse, it's a blessing, see. I didn't know I had that strength in me. Wasn't until Joe Smith put the faith in me. Though the people in the town keep mocking us, and the journey so long, so treacherous. Tell Brigham there ain't no stopping us, cause I know there's a God watching over us. A bomb nigga dump down in the water, deep in the water.
Right. So this is a musical. Now you have another slave that's going to rap, and he's telling a story about how he was free and how he joined the church, the gospel. But there's another one. He receives the Book of Mormon. He's wondering if it's true or not.
Take me to the ground.
So
I'm not gonna lie, kind of intrigued. What did he see? Can the same thing happen to me? Does he speak the truth? Is it a barefaced lie? Only truth can outlive the truth, test the time. So can I get a witness, an alibi? Manifestation so strong that I can't deny. It's do or die. See if I'm gonna testify, I need my own proof from on high.
So you got to pray. Get your own proof. The whole musical is saying, don't believe in what we... Get your own proof from on high. That's like the soundbite. We have a t-shirts. Own proof from on high, you point up. That's what we're telling everyone when they come home from the musical. That's what's going to be ringing in their ears. Get your own proof from on high. People thought he was crazy. How could a small town boy see something so amazing? So hated, persecuted. And now here,
after Joseph's historical
this is taken
vision,
from a Joseph Smith history.
he received the most bitter persecution known to man. In Joseph's own words, he said, however, it was nevertheless a fact that I had beheld a vision. I have thought since then, I have felt much like Paul when he made his defense before King Agrippa and related the account of the vision he had when he saw a light and heard a voice. But still, there were few who believed him. He said some was dishonest, others said he was mad. But he said, if I didn't see it, I think I was mad too.
This is Joseph Smith rapping.
I saw his face, now I'm a believer. As a matter of fact, I ain't trying to deceive you. Not to mention, please give attention. It's moving faster than NASCAR convention. I know that this is gonna be my legacy. I know the Father and the Son, they stood right next to me. This is not a made-up story full of fantasy. I got 3 and 8 witnesses to vouch for me.
I'll decree to every nation, kingdom, tongue, and people. Bear witness, let this truth rise up like a steep. All things being equal, go place where unequal to anything we ever see. So run and tell all your people. We are the gentlemen scholars, intellectual ballers. Unequivocally, we stake our claim just like the others. If you can't believe these words are spoken, you get your own proof from on high.
So they're saying, we believe it. This is our witness. It happened.
You don't want to believe it?
You're going to get your own proof. Right? Now, this is where everything changes. And it turns to like Phantom of the Opera. This is classical. The orchestra comes on stage. This is Joseph and Emma. This is Joseph. I walk through the valley of death. This is just before he gets murdered. I will fear no evil. I won't be afraid. Let's take it from the Bible. Then Emma joins in. Right, she harmonizes. I'll be here beside you to guide you. You're always going to be there. And comfort you forevermore. And in this part, that's where he gets shot, falls out of the window. Then the choir says, now the testimony, the restoration is in place. It's been sealed by the testimony of his blood. So now the choir says, the restoration is in place. The restoration is in place. Right? Now the gospel has started. This is the beginning. Sealed, yes. And then it's not mixed properly, but now Joseph Smith has got another, he's speaking right here. He's basically saying, as the God has spoken, he told me to do this. The Lord will deliver me. No matter what happened, I shall triumph over all my foes.
I shall triumph over my enemies, for the Lord God hath spoken it.
In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Wow.
So I gotta tell you something off record, okay? It's one of those things that doesn't go anywhere yet. But so I've just arranged a meeting with.
Yeah.
No.
Narrator.
I'm Aaron. I'm the guy that's teaching me the gospel with his weird accent. So yeah, so we're gonna have a narrator. All right, that guy. So
okay,
we've got connections, and it's very, very close to it happening. But we're gonna have the narrator be.
Oh wow.
We want to reach the kids. Make friends with the mammon of unrighteousness.
Yeah.
Lest he sees thee as thine enemy. In fact, that's the other thing, because my manager knows him. And so he wants to get him. We got 2 people we're trying to get. And I know we're going to get one or the other, because we got this. And God, I swear, is a part of this. We will either have. They only have to do it once. And then we just put it on the recording.
Right.
And so you just hear it
Every time.
and on a screen all the time. But they'll be reading from Joseph Smith history. They'll be reading prophecies. They'll be saying stuff just like, you know what I mean, right here. They'll be saying word for word stuff that Joseph Smith said.
It'll cleanse all the other stuff that they've kind of
Yeah. The goal is using them Listen, the devil uses good people.
So many other people.
He can use good people to do his work. Yeah. So why can't we use bad people to do God's work? Yeah. We're all the same family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't even call him bad.
No.
Yeah.
I just say in terms of what the church would say as being, you know, because it's like, oh, you can't play this at church dances. Well, that's the whole idea. Mm-hmm. I want these kids, like I play, so the choir on this, I got a whole bunch of
that was amazing.
Urban kids, black kids who are members of the church, young and old.
You have like a whole list of...
Yeah, I had them, all my friends and everything. And they weren't just black, white, all colors. We put them in the studio. And as we were recording halfway in, I had two guys and a girl. They were just sitting in a corner and they were just crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? You okay? I thought they were like, this guy's just messing up like everything. You know what I mean? It's like desecrating, you know. And he said, you've just given me something that I've never ever had before. I said, what do you mean? He says, and this one guy said, I have two loves. One is hip hop music. And I'm a member of the church. I love rap music, good or bad. For good or bad, he said. And he says, but I also love the story of the restoration. You have helped me put both of those together in ways I never ever thought would happen. And he started crying. We just hit him in his tongue.
Yeah.
That's what I want to have for the kids.
So they feel it right there in the heart.
And like, how would you say it? So I'm right here, and I'm saying to them, like, in this story, because one of the things with rap music, you can have it where it can be really, really clever, and people, yeah, you got the nasty stuff, but you got guys who are wordsmiths and they use the words and they find clever ways of expressing something. So right here, you know, we've got, like, the opening says, in the year of our God in the land of plenty, the heavens opened up in the spring of 1820. 17 years later, a 14-year-old cat. See? That's how they say it. They won't say a young boy or a little man, right? I'll say a 40-year-old cat dug up some love letters from the ground. Mm-hmm. That was the opening, what you heard. And then it says, containing words stronger than penicillin, filled with words so profound. Then he says, can I get a mic check? Then Elijah Abel, who served 3 missions for the church, had the priesthood before it was banned. He was the one that came in the valley. He was the first one that came in the valley, one of the slaves, before Brigham Young did, because Brigham Young was sick, and he told a group of vanguards to advance. He was one of them. That was with some apostles. He got there first. He actually was asked to he built a building for his slave owners, so that by the time they got there, they were ready and they had a house.
Oh, wow.
He died right here downtown. He's died. He's got his cemetery right there in the cemetery. He was a constable, a policeman. Mm-hmm. So it says right here, so Elijah Abel says, they say where there's no vision, the people perish. Something happened in the land, the 70 million people cherish. Revelation from the land you were born. We're headed far west to educate the misinformed. We're going to set the truth straight, get the truth straight. Time to activate, put on your brass plate. He's calling the kids to arms. The kids, the modern day kids, and the kids and the people then, right?
Put on your armor.
I hope you're all ready for this lyrical storm. See, because what that is, a lyrical storm. That's what the Book of Mormon is. It's lyrics, words that create a storm, right? He says, I hope you're all ready for this lyrical storm. You might think it's hot, but we're just getting warm. And then there's a part where, so this one slave, his name is Greenflake. He came through the Underground Railroad. So we're going to have Harriet Tubman in this Mormon story because she's part of it, because he became free through going through. Now it says in the church history that they say that it could have been that happened, but I'm just going to say it did. This is based on a true story, so I'm going to base it, you know what I mean, right? So he's going to go through the Underground Railroad, and that's how he becomes free. Goes to Nauvoo, which is true, and then he joined the wagons and headed up to, the Rocky Mountains. So he says right here, I'm an American slave with a testimony. No one can take that away from me. When I believe what Joel saw, they tried killing me. I'm flossing, only God can deliver me. So many miles I was running on empty. No gas, but my testimony fueling me. See, he escaped so he can join the church.
Yeah.
And then he says, I've been swimming upstream from apostasy. There's a cost. Freedom don't come for free. 12 years as a slave, dogs chasing me. Dark skin ain't a curse, it's a blessing, see. I didn't know that I had this strength in me. Wasn't until Joe Smith put the faith in me. Though the people in the town keep mocking us, and the journey so long, so treacherous, tell Brigham there ain't no stopping us, because I know there's a God watching over us. And then we've got Elijah Abel, who receives the gospel, but we're going to do it where Joseph Smith just gives him the Book of Mormon, but it's the old school one, the brown one, right? It's close to that, but it has, yes, that's right. This is, yeah, you can't even see the color in it. Yeah, I need to get the replicas of that. You can get them can you get them in the Deseret book?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The brown one, the brown one with the thing. So he's holding it in his hand. So Joseph Smith just barely taught him the gospel, and he gives him the book. He holds it in his hand, and then he's looking at it. He says, so he's rapping, and you got the beat behind him, and he says, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of intrigued. What did he see? And can the same thing happen to me? Does he speak the truth? Is it a barefaced lie? Only truth can outlive the true test of time. So can I get a witness, an alibi, a manifestation so strong that you can't deny? It's do or die. See, if I'm gonna testify, I need my own proof from on high. See, meaning I want to go out and be a missionary, because he was a missionary for the church, but he's like, I gotta know for myself. If I'm gonna testify, I need my own proof from it. So he went and he got his own proof, and he went on 3 missions for the church. Wow. And then there's another one. So Joseph Smith, all right. So there's a thing where in the modern day culture, you have this thing called a rap battle. And you have all these rappers, and instead of fighting, they use words, and they try and twist the other guy and make him feel bad and embarrassed and stuff like that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have, right at the beginning, Joseph Smith, the beginning of the story, Joseph Smith, he stands in front of the audience, and I want to make him as worn, as beat up, as insignificant looking as possible. This skinny dude with his hair all ruffled, little farm boy, right? And he walks on the stage, just himself. The light comes on, and he just says it. My name's Joe Smith. He says, I'm a farm boy from West New York. That's why all the rappers say, he's a farm boy from West New York. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm just a farm boy from West New York. I ain't much to look at. He says, but my grandfather, he told me that there is something that's going to come through our family that's going to shake the nation. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'll be part of it. And then he kind of changes and switches. And then he says, but I got to tell you, today I'm going into the village, and there's this big excitement about religion going around. Everyone's talking this and that, this and that. So I'm going to go in there and see what's going on. You want to come with me? So he goes. And we follow him. All of a sudden, he's in this village. People walking around. You got these pastors and all these bishops or whatever, these pastors. They're standing on barrels, right? And then they've got a group of people around them. Then another one's standing on a barrel. He's got his congregation around him. Another one's standing on a barrel. Now we're going to have what's called a rap battle. So all the pastors are competing with each other in rap form. So here's the rap form right here. Right now, you got to realize they're all dressed in period costume. Okay, and then let's see, it's called the Palmyra Rap Battle. Right, and so the way it starts is you got a DJ. He's wearing period costume, but he's got headphones and like this, and go, and he starts a beat. So the pastor, right, the Presbyterian preacher, he gets up, he says, hey, yo, you know what I mean? Give me a beat. And then all of a sudden he says, oh, yo, stop. I'm about to split this beat like Moses. And he parts through the whole audience. And then he says, gather round all you people, let me unfold this. I make no excuses for my boldness, using my voice to expose this sacrilegious banter spreading all around us. You look for mortals of truth in all the wrong places. You're looking for the light in all the wrong places. You're looking for the high in all the low places. So he's pointing to one of the pastors of his church. Then he says, but you be wise to follow us. Man, my words be on fire. I'm going to slay you with my lyrical sling like David did to Goliath. And everyone's like, oh, snap, oh my gosh, you just been owned. And it's like, really? Okay, let me tell you something. Man cannot live on bread alone. No, it says, man cannot live on bread and your fake words alone. Come visit our church when you're ready for some real words from home. But I can't stay for long and chat with you heathens. For my service starts in an hour. Won't you hurry this along? And then he says, Oh, really? Well, you better take a rain check before you step to me. I think you need a sound check. You're preaching way off key. How did you pass seminary? I just can't fathom. You say you're led by the Spirit? Which one? Jack Daniels or Samuel Adams? Everyone's like, oh, snap, you just got to hold on. Then the other one, right? So the other pastor, he gets up and he's like, oh, you got to think up your rhymes a little bit faster. I'm the king of Palmyra, the true hip-hop pastor. I'm the spiritual gangster. I can flow for miles and miles and laced with spiritual food. Boy, I can feed the 5,000. Like, oh, snap, oh, gosh, no, you just... Now, guys, can you imagine the youth listening to this? They will go nuts, right? So now, right? So listen to this, right? So then another one goes, well, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Your revelations are weak. Listen twice before you speak. Don't come around here with your broken rhymes, your outdated sermons, and your wokeless lies. You feed your congregation with hollow words, using the same dry old sermons everybody has heard. Let me give you some advice. You be smart to adhere. Get behind me, devil. You ain't welcome here. And then so the other was, oh snap, and then he gets mad, right? And so he says, well, you're nothing but a snake oil salesman. You're far off track. You better call on the Lord and get the truth back. I'm so astounded that your preaching is so behind the times. Let's get you back in that water, dip you again 7 times. And then, right? So this is comedy, right? And right, this happening, Joseph is like, right? He's just like, what's going on, right? And so then he goes on and he says, so this one, right? He's talking to this guy. He's a really big dude. The pastor's really big dude. He's got like a huge stomach, right? And so this other pastor says, man, your future's bleak. Your revelations are weak. Can't nobody top these lyrical words that I speak. I'm going to sacrifice this, brother. Somebody find me a ram. If anything can slay this joint, my testimony can. Now hold on, Big Papa. My sermons are smooth like butter. The only verse you know in the Bible is clearly the one about the Last Supper. And he holds his stomach like that.
Hey, wait.
So, right? And so now after all this happens, everyone's laughing, and then Joseph Smith just walks out of shot, and then he's on his own again. And then word for word from Joseph's story, he starts talking. It's like all these different religions, they talk about this and they talk about that. There's no way for me to know for myself what is true. I see that I have to, you know what I mean? He goes through it, then he's sitting on a log, like a half log, and he's got James 1:5, and he reads it. Yeah. So after he reads that, so then he goes back to all the classical music and everything. He's reading and he's just pondering. And then we go to the next scene where he literally has that. But we don't see it. All you see is him laying down on the corner of the stage. Huge light, so bright. And he's like this, right? We know the position. Yeah. Then there's music. There's a ballad that's gonna go on, like just classical music. And then after that, he gets back up from there, because that part I don't want to taint it. Mm-hmm. That part is just gonna be so sacred. Yeah. Because we got him in now, right? I don't want to taint that. That's when we bring the Spirit. That's where they're going to feel the Spirit, right? Yeah. Then after that, Joseph Smith walks out and he stumbles across the gate, whatever, heading back home, and then so the whole idea is, we go through all these, and we fast forward through a lot of experiences. And so the whole idea is we're taking the story to this youth in a language that they understand. And there's some bits of comedy in it, like what you saw. There's going to be some serious stuff, some moving stuff, but it's just going to tell the story. But then you've got a lot of choir, hip hop dancing starts and all that kind of stuff. But at the end, right at the end, you're gonna have Joseph Smith that walks.
You're gonna tell the punchline. You're gonna tell the final thing on this, though.
What's that?
You're gonna tell us the end of the story here.
Yeah.
You're not gonna leave us hanging.
Yeah. So here's the thing. What's the thing? Because there's like so many ends.
You want to do this? Because
Yeah. I mean, it's like, so. For example, the way that I want to end it is with his life.
Yeah.
So after that has happened, there's a quote. And it's John Taylor. There's 2 quotes that I'm playing on right now, John Taylor and Brigham Young. But where they were basically saying, save Jesus Christ only, right? Yeah. No one has come close to, you know what I mean, has shared this gospel and done so much in the world. That's going to end. But then right after that, you have the whole cast come on. And then he says, if you can't believe these words are spoken, get your own proof from on high. Curtains close. That's how we leave them. We leave them with that as the last thing. You know, there's many other things that happen, but we leave them with that. And then they come out, they go to the foyer, and you've got all this stuff there, whether it's T-shirts, blah, blah, blah. T-shirt that says
Boye
on
foyer?
proof on a high. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. We'll have to put that out there. So I've got to pitch this idea now. And I've got like a lot of people that are already interested, and I've not even finished this thing yet. And right now, we're raising money just to get the album funded, because we're going to put out the album first, and I want to get that album finished by conference. And I can do it. I've got it all written. I've got like 15, 20 songs. It's insane. And they've never, it's never come so easy for me.
Wow.
That's why I know it's never come this easy.
Now you know when the Lord is involved.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting nudges 4:30 in the morning ever since I got the witness. This was January the 1st of January, New Year's Day, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I get a knock on the door. Literally my spiritual door. The Lord just nudged me. It's like, get up. And he said, go downstairs, go read the Book of Mormon. So I read this Book of Mormon for an hour. It felt like 3 minutes. And then after that, I had, you know how it feels, right? It's just sometimes when you just, what? Like time just, it was amazing. And then the Lord's like, go get a pen, go get a piece of paper, start writing. And I'd probably written about 5, 6, 7, 8 songs together with like a synopsis and everything. And I knew what that was supposed to be. And then I was told, but right now start with a music video, because that's what you do. That's how you're going to introduce the play. So it's like a 10-minute short film music video. So we're working on that right now. We film it February the 26th. I've got everyone. I've got my Emma. I've got my young Joseph Smith. I've got my older Joseph Smith. I've got all the slaves. I've got pioneers. I've got like the villagers. We have to turn people away. Yeah. There's so many that's coming in their trek outfits. We've got wagons. We've got this original, authentic wagon that looks like a jail, right?
Oh, so jail.
Yep.
Paddy wagon.
That's where Joseph Smith. But also, what we do is, in 1 second, you have the slaves in this wagon, this slave wagon. Then the next minute, it clears. Then you've got Joseph Smith in the same wagon, showing people that literally he was treated just like a slave, tarred and feathered, just like a slave. It was the lowest denominator, the way that he was treated.
The meanest thing they could do.
Lower and as low as the slaves. That was the significance of the being tarred and feathered. Wow. Because that's what they did to the insubordinate slaves.
And he stood for the slaves.
And he stood for the slaves. Oh, let me tell you, right?
Yeah.
So in my thing, I forgot. Thank you for telling me this. So part of the story, he is gonna. We have the whole thing where he runs for presidency, right? And in it, but the way that I'm gonna do it, he's making his first claim, right? He's in like the legislators building and everything, and he's going in, and there's like a kind of judge, and all the villagers from all the different places around Pennsylvania or whatever, they want to listen to what he's saying, what his thing is, right? So the adjudicator, or what it is, almost like a kind of like a Nancy Pelosi. What is your platform? Exactly. And he says, my platform, if I become president, I will free all the slaves. And then there's a whisper. He's gonna finish us. He's gonna finish us. We gotta kill him. We can't let this happen. He's taking our livelihood. You know, order. And then he's like, and what's more, he's like, we're gonna get all the statesmen. We're gonna take money from them that they should be the money that they earn. We're gonna take 20%, and we're gonna sell the land, and we're gonna give that money to the slaves. That was one of the huge reasons for a lot of the persecution in the church. There was many other things, but many people don't realize they call us a racist church.
Excuse me?
Let me know any of you church members of all the other faiths who stood up and said that if they ran for president, the first thing they will do is sell all the slaves and also give them reparations.
Yeah. What other?
You got to realize they were property, and that was their money. You're saying you're going to take away our property. that's not going to happen. You must die. They tried it. So it's crazy. So I'm going to show.
A lot of people don't
I'm going to
realize
highlight that. Yeah.
When he died, it wasn't just a murder.
Yeah.
A lot of times we call it a murder.
Oh my God.
It was an assassination of a
Absolute-
presidential candidate
Yep.
at the time, running for office of president.
That's exactly it. So people don't understand that, and that's what I'm going to get across in this musical. And so, but the thing is, the way that I'm going to do it is that this is not. I want to make this. This is not primarily for the saints. This is not for the LDS Church.
Yeah.
It's a story. This is my life story, because 200 years of that history is woven into my testimony, right? So this is my story that I'm telling. So, because when you tell your story, no one can argue with it, right?
That's right.
But then at the same time, I'll be like, but you got to get your own proof on how this was true. You got to get your own proof. And so
And look at
we're
the
working
power
on,
of the
yeah.
verses.
So we're working on funding and everything to get that. We've got some people
Alex,
interested.
We're behind you, man. 100%.
Tell you. Yeah.
100%, brother. I tell you what, you are.
Thank you, brother.
Fantastic. Alex, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming here and sharing amazing stories of your life and your faith and the things that you're doing and all the work that you've done.
Thank you, brother.
God bless you for all you're doing. And while you still have the Moroni armor on here, I wanted to share with our audience here really quickly just a couple of things that were just recently done. This is I guess it was back in October of last year, of 2019, and this is President Ballard. And he was in Worcester, Massachusetts, and they're having a big meeting there and so forth. And he said that they pled with the local Latter-day Saints to, quote, join a new movement, unquote, by inviting their neighbors, colleagues, and friends to pray for the United States, its leaders, and its families.
That's powerful.
A new movement. This is an interesting year. It's a Book of Mormon year.
Yeah.
And the Book of Mormon, we learn about freedom. We learn about the laws of Mosiah. We learn about this covenant that God made with America many years ago. We have now an apostle of the Lord basically saying that this. It is interesting also that we just happen to have every 4 years we have the Book of Mormon come up, right, in our gospel doctrine class, and every one of those 4-year periods, it happens to be a presidential election in the United States of America. So we're studying the Book of Mormon, which is the foundations of our nation, basically, every 4 years all the whole year until it comes down to November when we vote, right? But this is what he says: our nation was founded on prayer. It was preserved by prayer. And we need prayer again. Said acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, I plead with you this evening to pray for this country, for our leaders, for our people, and for the families that live in this great nation founded by God. Does that just not remind you of Captain
Moroni right there, man?
Waving the title of liberty?
That's why I see that image there. That was kind of what it was, but in a roundabout way.
Yes, exactly.
But yes.
And then so the last couple of things he said, we must stand boldly for righteousness and truth and must defend the cause of honor, decency, and personal freedom espoused by Washington, Madison, Adams, Lincoln, and other leaders who acknowledged and loved God. So I just want to just to finish it up. This is an apostle. He says, as an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ, I have a solemn duty to face the Lord and deliver His message.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Did Captain Moroni feel that same duty when he tore off his cloak and he wrote upon it in memory of our God, our religion, our wives and our children, and our nation, and that this nation is under a sacred covenant with God.
Yeah,
gone through the whole citizen process and so forth as a citizen of the United States of America that has come from outside.
Yeah,
and now with the understanding that you have of the Book of Mormon and the covenant with God that's on this nation.
Yeah,
we need to have a solemn plea to pray every night for our nation, for its leaders, our families, and our wives and our children, because I don't believe that there has ever been a time when our nation and our values have been under attack like this.
Yeah. You know, I read that reading in the Book of Mormon, there's a part where it talks about every single person that comes into the land of promise this country has been guided here. And so that was a powerful thing for me, because I know that I can't squander this gift that's been given to me. My patriarchal blessing says I should see every day as being important. I can't sit on my laurels as a U.S. citizen since 2012 and be a decoration on the ground or a patch of blade of grass. I have to be something and somebody, and that can be anything in God's hands. That's the beauty of it, because a lot of times we make ourselves so insignificant. And we as members of the church, we do this a lot. We always say just. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a Relief Society teacher. I'm just a bishop. Well, the Lord doesn't use just. He can't work with just. Right. He works with I am a teacher. I am a Relief Society. See, there's a different energy. There's a difference. One of them is what Satan would use, and the other one is what God would use. And he needs more godlike, visionary people to do his work. And it is anybody.
I mean,
anyone.
Say, if a young, orphaned young man can be brought to the promised land of America and accomplish the things that you have accomplished, then I think another maybe message is out there that maybe there's some people out there who think that, life is just it's just awful.
Yeah.
And I don't see there's any future in it.
Yeah.
And so forth. Let us tell you right now.
Yeah.
God has a future for every person that's here.
Yeah. And the future is your story.
Do not think that just because today you don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to wade through the stuff, folks. You are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But look at what can happen when you follow the path that God
can make more out of our lives than we can by ourselves. And, he can take a pauper, he can take a rich man, he can take a poor man. He can take a person who has no legs. He can take a person who has no eyes, a person who has no arms. He can take a person who is jobless, a person who is homeless. And he can take you and put you onto the highest possible pedestal that you can ever imagine. Yeah. Our goal is, once we open our hearts and our minds through constant communication with him, one thing is, one of the biggest gifts that we miss out on is wrapped around forgetfulness. And what I mean by that is, when we take the sacrament every Sunday, it says that you might remember him when? After dinner? During our prayer? It says always. And I've found that the greatest days, because my patriarchal blessing says, see, every day is be important. My greatest days is when, first and foremost, I have Jesus on my mind, in my heart, when I have a constant prayer, just like a missionary does. Remember, you as a missionary, when you prayed constantly, you didn't stop. If I ask you a question, like I want to ask all the missionaries, if there's any return missionaries out there, when you were on your mission, how many times did you pray? I would submit to you that you've lost count. The day that you came home from your mission, how many times did you pray? Breakfast? Lunch? Dinner? That is not remembering the Lord. When we fill our minds with absolute virtue, that's why the pornography, even just watching HBO movies, can bring out more pornography into your heart than you can ever imagine. I know, because I've had it. I know because the power of pornography has totally, literally ripped me apart. And I literally had to lock myself up at the Orem Institute every single day, cold turkey, remembering God, to take all that nasty stuff out of my heart, but then replace it with absolute goodness. Doctrine and Covenants talks about how we need to garnish our thoughts virtually, with virtue, unceasingly. That means you have to have good thoughts constantly. As soon as you stop, you let your guard down, and those powerful satanic pornographic thoughts come back into your head again. You have to replace your thoughts with absolute good. I had a friend that spent 24 hours every single day watching cartoons. I used to make fun of him. I said, why are you doing that? He says, because it makes me laugh. When I laugh, it takes out all the evil out of all the stuff. And I'm like, it's true. It's like, let me tell you one of the, in closing. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you one of the most powerful concepts of how to get rid of depression? Read the 13th article of faith. Doctors will tell you, okay, when it comes to pornography or things like that, thought leaders will say you need to, the only way that you can get that out of your mind is to replace it by everything that's absolutely pure and good.
Just like President Boye Packer gave a talk one time about the stage of your mind. Mm-hmm. And you control the stage, and you can decide what stays there and what doesn't stay there. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's true. Imagine you're at the Health Center Theater. You can control what is on that theater, right? And the most important thing about that is once you control that and you start in your mind first and you control that, then what happens is with the 13th article of faith, it says in there that anything that's, I'm just paraphrasing, anything that's good, lovely, praiseworthy, of good report. Here's the kicker. We seek after these things. Do we?
We better.
Do we? Like when we turn our TVs on, when we scroll our phones, what are we seeking? When we're on our TikToks, when we're on our Snapchats, everything. I had a bishop that once told me the week before I got married, he did like the bishop's state of the ward address. Mm-hmm. And he just talked about the ward and everything. And he said something I'll never forget. This is the U of U Institute. Actually the University of Utah Institute. He said to all the priesthood holders, he said, I guarantee you that every priesthood holder within the sound of my voice is addicted in some way to pornography. It was 600 people in that ward. And we were like, everyone was like, what? And I was like, you think he's joking? And I said to my friends, I'm like, you think he's joking, right? He says, yeah, that's stupid. I said, really? I said, you remember, right? We're sitting in the gym. 2 minutes before he said that, there was 2 chicks, right, that walked in. They came in from one end of the gym and walked across to the other because there was 5 wards going on. When we saw how cute they are, what was the first 2 things we looked at? Mm-hmm. That's our culture. We've got to weed out every single thing, every thought that brings us away from God. And we have to change and start using our thoughts that bring us closer to God. And what that does, it brings us power. I'm talking about power that we can literally bless our kids, bless our friends, our family, heal our kids.
And heal our nation too.
And then, see, because you got to start small. And then you work your way out. Because that's how it works. We have to continually be learning how to heal the people around us. And then when we're all doing it together, then that's when the power comes to be able to be a force to be reckoned with in this world, in our state, in our country, in our community.
Alex, you are a force
to be reckoned with. Man, I'm nothing without God. That's what I've learned, you know.
Thank you for your service to the gospel and to the Lord, and and God bless you. May you have best of luck, and if there's anything we can do for you guys,
oh man,
on all your different projects, we're behind you.
Thank you,
Alex. All right.
Thank you for listening to the Book of Mormon Evidence podcast. If you enjoyed this Come Follow Me supplemental study, click the like button or share it with your friends. To watch Alex Boye's Come Follow Me podcast along with all of the others, be sure and visit our streaming channel, Book of Mormon Evidence Streaming.com, and subscribe to become a member. Go to his YouTube channel and enjoy all the fun that his family and his music offers.
Am I ready for what's happening? Where can I go to get more information about how to prepare, both physically and spiritually?
Hi, I'm Rod Meldrum, inviting you to the 25th International Book of Mormon Evidence Conference being held for the first time online during the Firm Foundation Expo. Learn about critical LDS topics of our time from over 60 thought leaders, scholars, and experts like Tim Ballard, all from the comfort of your own home on any device. Be a part of our first ever virtual expo by going to bookofmormonevidence.org.